Hello chess lovers, today we are going to see a very amazing game which was played between Adhiban Baskaran of India versus Anish Giri of Dutch, and Adhiban Baskaran crushed Anish Giri with the move 1b3. So this was the round 12 game which was held in the Goldmoney Asian Rapid 2021 tournament. And this is very special because Adhiban Baskaran won against Anish Giri for the first time in his life. So without wasting any further time, I know that you are very excited to watch this game, and so am I. So before going on to it, if you are new to my channel, just take 1 second to click on the red subscribe button and put a big thumbs up on this video. So now let's go on to the game. So the game started with Adhiban Baskaran's favorite move, that is 1b3, and this opening is called the Larson's opening. Black responded with the move d5, taking on to the center. Knight goes to f3, bishop to f5, and then bishop to b2. So the special thing about this opening is that we get so much space. You can see that the bishop holds a long diagonal, the knight takes the central squares, and in this opening we go from the sides and not directly into the center with the pawns. As you could see, in the center we don't have any pawn. So moving on, e6 played by black, d3 with the idea of breaking onto the center after everything is developed, h6 played by black, knight b to d2, and f6, g3 so as to fianchet to this bishop to g2, bishop goes to h7, and now bishop to g2. Here both the players want to develop everything and safely put its king after castling. So bishop to e7 so as to castle, e4 breaking onto the center, now castles, queen to e2 developing its last piece, and now a5 played by black. Black simply idea is of a4 break in the corner, a3 played by white, a4, and now b4. This move also restricts the bishop because now the bishop can only go to this square. Now here, since this bishop wants some mobility, black plays c5, so as if the pawn takes, then the bishop would be posted very lovely on the c5 square. So now white simply plays b5, c4 played by white, and here if you think that this a pawn sacrifice, because if pawn takes, then we can simply take with the knight, but no. If we take the pawn, then first knight takes the e4 pawn, because firstly the e4 pawn was defended by this pawn on d3, and after capturing, that pawn is not there. So after d takes e4, which took place in the game, knight takes the e pawn. Now castles, because all the pieces are coming inside and the position is getting open. So first we have to keep our king safe, so castling. Knight goes to d7, developing its last piece, and now rook a to d1. Why rook a to d1? Because you can see that this fight is going to open very soon. So white first brings a rook here, so as in the next few moves he could take this pawn and open up the position like this. Now bishop goes to f6 because this bishop is very strong, so we want to trade it. But here white played knight takes knight. Here now bishop took the bishop, so here white got the knight whereas black got the bishop. Now c takes d4, pawn takes, and rook takes. Now you would think that if you count the pieces, white is a pawn up, but certainly no, because anytime the bishop can take this pawn. But black won't go it directly, since this knight is pinned and the other rook can jump inside, and then that knight will be lost. So black played the move queen to e7, a very cool move, so as to play f5, because this is pinned. If this move, then the queen is lost. So we have to attack a pinned piece by a pawn. So black played the move queen to e7 with the idea of f5. Now white played the move knight f to d2 so as to protect this knight with the knight, the queen, and also the bishop. Now bishop takes the pawn. This pawn was hanging, so the bishop took it, and now the material is equal. Only the difference is white has very mobility and black has an outside passer which can queen anytime. So now knight goes to c4, attacking this bishop, bishop to b4, and now c3, attacking it again. We'll go full on attack. Bishop goes to a5 and then b6, a very cool move. Now if you see this bishop, you'll see that it's not a bishop, it's not a piece. If you take it out, then also it does not matter, because this bishop cannot take this pawn, it cannot go here, it cannot go here, whereas it can't go anywhere. So this piece is now ruined. Black has to do something about it in the future. But black thinks, oh no, you blundered, because this piece was pinned, so I can directly kick it with the move f5. Now wherever a knight goes, then the queen is hanging. And if you don't want to hang the queen, then the knight is lost. But white was already prepared, because now it's white to play and you have to find the best move here. If you like, you can also pause the video to find the move. So now here the move is knight to f6 check. Oh my god, what a brilliant sacrifice, because white says here that wait, my knight is pinned, but your queen is also not defended, so I can give a check. Now if the pawn takes, then the queen will be lost, so as it will happen with the rook. If the rook takes, the queen will be lost. Here if the knight also takes, then also the queen will be lost. So in short, we cannot take this. But wait a minute, the queen can also take. Yes, the queen can take, but then the rook will take this knight. Wow, what an amazing move. Now only move for black was here to take the knight with the queen, because any other move would lose the queen. So queen takes f6 knight, rook takes d7, and now queen takes c3. Here if you count the pieces, then white has only 4 pawns, whereas you can see that black has 5 pawns, 3 pawns on the king side and 2 pawns on the queen side. But who is better? How to judge it? If you see that white has so much space and this king is very weak, because this bishop can jump in, the queen can come to the 7th rank with the battery with the rook, and here it would be a checkmate. The second rook can join in, and there are so many possibilities. But here white said, wait, I just have 1 pawn down, so let's regain it first and then we'll do the attack. So bishop takes the pawn. Now this pawn is also very strong because it can queen in 2 moves. Now rook goes to b8, rook a to b8, and then knight takes the bishop. The queen takes the knight, and then bishop to d5 check. The queen can't take because the rook is protecting it, so now it's a check, and the only move the king has is the h8 square. Now here queen goes to e5, attacking here and threatening a mate in 1. Rook goes to g8 so as to protect it, but already you know black is losing because this rook is free. And if you see here in the last move, you cannot save this pawn in any other ways. So here rook goes to g8. Here instead of directly taking this, Adhiban thought that wait, he cannot move at all, because then it would be a checkmate right here. So why not, let's bring the second rook. So the second rook also came to c1. But here black played a very bad move, that is queen takes this pawn. Black was here very greedy, but he should have thought about his king, because now first white took this rook, rook takes, and now the second rook came in. Now black can do nothing because he is also positionally down as well as he is also materially down, and there is triple attack on this pawn which cannot be saved at all. So here black should not have gone for this pawn, but if at all there is no good move as such here. So queen takes, bishop takes rook, rook takes rook, and then rook c1 to c7. Now black played the move f4 with some plans like bringing the pawn here and mating him here, but that's not happening of course. Rook takes the pawn. Here if white does not do anything, then this bishop is hanging, and not hanging, but it's a checkmate, because the king cannot take and there's a check via the queen and the rook, so it would be a checkmate. Here black played a move, queen to b1 check, surviving for 1 move, king to g2, then f3 check. Now king goes to h3, because if king takes this pawn, then we do not want to go like bishop check and then we will be in some trouble. So let's go safely to h3. Now queen came to f5 check, thinking that the queen has to take, of course. Then bishop will take, it will be a check. Then the king or the pawn will move here, then he'll get a rook, just like this, and then it will be a pawn ending which is winning for black because he will just promote. But no, here white played a classic move for which black had to resign. So here white to play, and this is the move that you have to force your opponent to resign. I'll wait for some seconds. You can also pause your video to find this. Here the move is g4. Wow, sacrificing its own queen. Here black resigned, but let me show you what happens if queen takes queen. Here white can just mate black in one move by taking this bishop, and it's a checkmate. So in case that was not a blunder by white but a classic move. Now here the queen is also attacked. In the next move, this is a checkmate, because wherever the queen goes in this diagonal also, it cannot protect this, as there will be a double check via the queen also and the rook also. So here it's forced mate in 1 or 2, and here Adhiban Baskaran crushed Anish Giri with such a lovely game. I hope that you loved this game. You can put your comments in the comment section about this, and also if you loved it a lot, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it yet, and also give a big thumbs up to this video. So till then, stay safe, play chess, and meet you in the next video. Bye bye.